Today, we are going to find out more about the legacy of a legendary Japanese horse, or legendary horse within Japanese horse racing, Mr. CB. I've actually done 170 pulls now for Mr. CB. 2LB. I've also gotten 2 copies of Air Shakur, 2 copies of Seeking the Pearl, another copy of Kawakami Princess, on top of the 7 that I got during the Fine Motion banner, and so many others. I got like a lot of SRs actually within these, sorry, not 270, 370 pulls. So we're approaching that 400 mark. I'm not pulling after 400. I'm only going up to 400. A lot of pulls, and I want to learn more about Mr. CB, an end closer. So let's find that out. Like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you go and watch Pyrex' actual video. Don't just watch my reaction to the video. Watch his actual video. Let's jump into it.
Last year, I decided to dive into the world of umamusume Pretty Derby. In doing so,
Good decision.
I not only uncovered my love for the franchise, but also began to grow an attachment to the real history behind some of my favorite characters.
Dude, and the real history is
determination, perseverance,
for a lot of these
and
things.
passion quickly swept me off my feet, plunging me down a rabbit hole which seemed to grow more and more interesting the further back I traveled. Every Uma is modeled after the rich history of
Mr.
their
CB is pretty far back.
riveting tales which naturally unfold over the span of their careers. This specific Uma is one such story.
Hey!
One which took me down a rabbit hole to
And
the
Maru
first
there?
racing
Yeah, these
boom
are some
in
old
Japan.
ones.
A racehorse who in umamusume stands beside Rudolph as a legendary racer from Tracing Academy.
Yeah.
An Uma who appears unbound and carefree, with a deep love for racing. This is the story of Mr. CB, the director of the turf. Before we can fully dive into Mr. CB's racing career and history, we first have to establish the lineage that he came from.
Oh, let's see.
Mr. CB's sire was Tosho Boy, and his dam CB Queen. Originally, Mr. CB was a horse that was never supposed to be born. But as always, fate would intervene. CB Queen at the time was a broodmare with an impressive bloodline of her
CB Queen, broodmare, impressive bloodline.
own. CB Queen was a daughter of Topio, a French colt who would claim victory at the 1967 Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe. Coming from such a strong lineage, CB Queen would achieve victories of her own during her racing career, which lasted from 1975 to 1978. One of CB Queen's most notable races being her victory at the 1977 Mainichi Okan. Her victory wasn't only impressive due to her participating against male horses, but also because it would be a record-setting time. CB Queen displayed the ability at the 1977 Mainichi Okan.
Oh, we're talking about CB Queen.
Her victory wasn't only impressive due to her participating against male horses, but also because it would be a record-setting time. CB Queen displayed the ability to not only race against horses thought to be outside of her reach, but also shatter course records in the process. After her retirement, CB Queen was sent from her birthplace of the Chigira Farm to the Okamoto Ranch. Chigira Farm was located in the Gunma Prefecture, while Okamoto Ranch was located in Hidaka, Hokkaido. Though Mr. CB's dam was already impressive for her time, his sire would be one of the most influential horses of the 1970s. Tosho Boy was one of 3 horses who'd go head-to-head in various races in 1976. This period of fierce competition would be known as the TTG era, signifying the feud between Tosho Boy, 10 Point, and Green Grass. The TTG era was a period that showed a deep adoration for the latter half of the first racing boom, a nationwide craze in Japanese horse racing which was ignited by the rise of the first idol horse, Haiseiko.
The first idol horse. Oh, shit. Really? The first idol horse. Damn, good record, too. Whoa. Okay.
In 1973. During this period, the current grading system we're all too familiar with had yet to be introduced. The modern-day grading system of G3, G2, and G1 races. Instead, Japan had what was known as the 8 major races, or the Hachi Daikyoso. Races which made up the Hachi Daikyoso were defined as the most prestigious races of that period.
So before the grading
would
stuff,
include
the Ogasho,
Satsuki Sho, Yushin Himba, Tokyo Yushin, Kika Sho, Spring and Autumn Tenno Sho, and the Arima Kinen.
Wow.
Even with the absence of the grading
So the big ones missing from this are the Japan Cup. The Osaka Highs recently became a G1, 2017. I only recently found that out. Some dirt stuff. There's a few dirt stuff missing. Champions Cup, February Stakes. No, February. Yeah, right? I think. The Tokyo Daishoten. Oof. What's the one in Uma going on at the same time as the Takarazuka Kinen? Takarazuka Kinen's not here. Yeah, Japan Cup, I already mentioned that. The mile races, NHK and Mile Championships, those aren't here. And yeah, again, a bunch more dirt stuff not here.
Arima Kinen. Even with the absence of the grading system, the concept of the Triple Crown was a well-established title. Saint Light had first claimed this title.
Oh, yeah. Of those things, the Triple Crown is in there. Yeah, Satsuki, Japanese Derby, Kika Show. The tiara is not. The tiara is not because the Shuka is not there. We don't see the Shuka Show there.
1941, followed by Shinzan in 1964. Tosho Boy would gain attention from various Japanese horse racing fans for his speed and grace on the racecourse. This would earn him the nickname of Tenma, or Pegasus.
Oh,
his
sick.
explosiveness against the strongest horses of his era was described as exciting to witness firsthand. Tosho Boy would also be recognized as Horse of the Year in 1976. And in 1984, he'd be inducted to the JRA Hall of Fame.
Awesome.
Of the 15 total starts in Tosho Boy's career,
okay, what did he end up doing here? I'm assuming the Arima Memorial is the Arima Kinen. Got the Satsuki Show, second in the Japan Derby. Okay. Doesn't end up going to do the Kika Show. I am assuming because only second place here in the Japan Derby. If they got the first place, I'm assuming they would have gone for the Kika Show, right? You do that. That's how it goes. Takarazuka Memorial, okay. Takamatsu no Miya. Wait, why do I recognize that as well? I feel like cool. Arima Memorial second, but they got a first on the Arima in the classic year. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, classic year, I guess.
Place first in 10, second in 3, third in 1, and have only one race below the top 3 rankings. Within the first place finishes in his career,
very strong.
2 would be within the Hachi Daikyo So.
Dang, moving.
The 1976 victory in the Satsuki Show and Arima Kinen.
Dang, Mr. CB got it.
Tosho Boy would claim victory in the 1977 Takarazuka Kinen as well. Though Tosho Boy wasn't the victor of the 1977 Arima Kinen, the final race in his career, the race itself is considered the climax of the legendary TTG rivalry. Even in modern day, this fierce showdown is still widely regarded as one of the most intense and popular races in Japanese horse racing. This race, to many, solidified who was the strongest amidst the 3. The history of TTG is another captivating period in Japan's horse racing history.
That's so cool. Yo, that's something I would like to learn more about too.
Video itself,
damn.
Which will be released following our dive into Mr. CB.
Awesome,
Mr.
dude.
CB was born on April 7, 1980 in Hokkaido. Interestingly, when observing birth records for Mr. CB, unlike the other horses we've covered before, an entirely fictitious location is listed: Urakawa Chigira Farm.
Oh wow, of fake places listed for the birth?
This mere name alone unveils a dramatic story which led to Mr. CB's birth. For this next portion of the video, we'll explore the history of the Chigira Farm, which resides in the Gunma Prefecture, the place where Mr. CB's roots lie. The Chigira Ranch has been involved with horse breeding for decades at this point, producing many exceptional horses like Marun Uma, Sugen Uma, Meizui, and CB Queen. During the time of the ranch's establishment till the birth of CB Queen, it is important to note that the ownership became generational over time. In 1927, Kenji Chigira first began producing thoroughbred racehorses. During World War II, Chigira Ranch faced many hardships. Shortage of funds and food resulted in the temporary suspension of breeding operations.
Damn.
Facing insurmountable hardships, the Chigira family worked tirelessly to rebuild their former foundation of the ranch, and by 1963, their efforts would finally bear fruit. Meizui, a cult born in 1960, would claim victory at both the 1963 Satsuki Show and Tokyo Yushun. A
Wow.
remarkable accomplishment from a ranch that had to rebuild from the ground up. By this point, Kenji had given ownership of his ranch to his son, Yasushi Chigira.
Okay, so that's what he meant
Interestingly,
by generational. They pass it down from generation to generation within the family.
Kenji also
Got
had a
it.
horse who would win the Tokyo Yushun. Sugen Uma would claim victory in the
Cool.
1938 Tokyo Yushun, making Meizui's victory a continued legacy of wins at the Yushun for the
Awesome.
ranch. By the time
Cool.
Daisaku Chigira, Yasushi's son, took over, just as his father and grandfather had done, he needed to conduct his own research as well. Daisaku possessed a strong passion for racehorses, spending most of his time studying bloodlines meticulously.
Ooh,
Daisaku's goal was
whoa.
simple.
Yo, he's like doing analytics here. He's like, all right, bloodlines. Who's got strong bloodlines? Who can breed a good one? That's
To
interesting.
continue the legacy of his father and grandfather and produce a remarkable horse for the Chigira Ranch. In
And boy, did you get a
1973,
good one.
his efforts would finally pay off, and CB Queen was born. After an
Oh, CB
impressive racing
Queen.
career, CB Queen became a broodmare, Daisaku entrusting her to Okamoto Ranch in Hokkaido. His attention would then shift to finding a suitable mate for CB Queen. As his pursuit for a suitable mate continued, a flash of inspiration captivated Daisaku, recalling CB Queen's debut race. Although her career was impressive, CB Queen's debut would be a crushing defeat, losing by over 10 lengths. In that moment, Daisaku was focused on only one thing: the beauty of the winning horse's run. Daisaku thought to himself, this horse will surely become incredible, a magnificent sire. One day, I want to see the offspring of this horse and queen. As we've witnessed many times before,
And that's the one that they lost to was Tenno Boy?
everything in Japanese horse racing connects at one point or another. This
Or Tosho
instance
Boy?
is no exception.
Sorry,
The
Tenma.
horse which had captivated Daisaku was none other than Tosho Boy, the winner of the later dubbed legendary debut race. With newfound determination, Daisaku would submit an
wow.
application for CB Queen to be bred with Tosho Boy. Now, you may be thinking, with how accomplished Tosho Boy was, surely he must have been a popular breeding stallion.
Not so
right?
much.
The truth is, he was the exact opposite. Being a domestically bred Japanese horse, Tosho Boy was treated as a third-rate stallion.
Oh, because he's domestically bred. Yeah, yeah. We often see like these, like I don't think Sunday Silence is a domestic horse, right? And Sunday Silence is like the breeder, dude. Sunday Silence is an American bred thoroughbred, won the Kentucky Derby, Preakness Stakes, failed to complete the Triple Crown, defeated in Belmont Stakes. Yeah, yeah, very, very strong. Very strong. The amount of freaking kids that Sunday Silence produced are ridiculous. The lineage within Japanese horse racing going back to this motherfucker is crazy. Like, you almost have to be like, oh, I don't know if we could have these two horses be together, because the chances are they might have Sunday Silence in the back in the, you know what I mean? Could have the same grandfather or same grand damn sire damn father. You know, I don't know.
At the time, Japan simply did not value horses bred domestically as suitable sires.
Oh,
During
interesting.
this period, overseas and
one that's so
foreign-bred horses
capable,
were thought
really?
to be the only true sires.
Oh,
Furthermore,
wow.
Tosho Boy's first crop of foals did not perform well either.
Oof.
With conception rates below 60%,
Oof.
many of his offsprings inherited traits that acted to prevent a good racing career, not enable it. This is a reputation that was spread among Japan's horse breeders, only attracting broodmares with little to no accomplishments in their careers, drawn only to
Interesting.
Tosho Boy by his low breeding fee. These lackluster offsprings
Interesting.
only dampened his legacy further. Harumi
Dang.
Tokunaga, the manager of Tosho Boy, ultimately felt sorrow for such an unfortunate outcome. The arrival of CB Queen's application brought great joy to Harumi, followed by a shattering realization.
Damn, horses are big.
This could be the chance to preserve
Damn.
Tosho Boy's legacy, breeding with such an accomplished mare like CB Queen. There was only one problem. CB Queen was owned by a non-member farm. Following his retirement, Tosho Boy was purchased by Hidaka Thoroughbred Breeders Association. According to the regulations of said association, Tosho Boy was only allowed to breed with mares owned by Hidaka members. Worried for Tosho Boy's future as a stallion, Harumi made a bold decision. Very well, we cannot leave Tosho Boy in this state. I will personally authorize the breeding with CB Queen.
Whoa, going against their own thing that they established, where they would not do this, but because he cared so much about the horses, and that's one thing that I love so much, and we see this so often. You see how much they love the horses, man. You see how much they love them, and it's very beautiful. I really like that.
With this one choice, the breeding between Tosho Boy and CB Queen became a reality in 1979. Unsurprisingly, with the conception of CB Queen, Harumi's actions would soon be exposed. Becoming aware of this violation to the rules, nothing could be done at this point. Once life has been conceived, it would not be erased under the excuse of a regulation violation. This calls back to the original mention of Mr. CB's completely fictitious
Oh,
place of birth,
wow.
Urakawa Chigira Farm. Although the real farm is located in Gunma Prefecture, this name, placing the farm in Hidaka, Hokkaido, was simply the fabrication Tokunaga had created to deceive the organization. In the spring of the following year, 1980, CB Queen would give birth to CB Queen 1, who would later be known as Mr. CB. The meaning of CB is simple yet profound, standing for Chigira Bokujo. For the Chigira family, this wasn't just a simple name,
Whoa.
but instead
Yo,
a title reserved.
They gave the name of their farm to Mr. CB. That's a lot of faith to put into him, right? This horse represents your name.
For only the horses they believed would be the absolute masterpieces of the farm. By making the decision to name this horse Mr. CB, they were staking the entire reputation of their farm on this horse's success.
They put their name on this horse.
The fictitious place of birth remains a marker of Harumi's violation. Following Mr. CB's birth, Harumi was severely reprimanded by his superiors, and for some time will receive scrutiny in the workplace. Though
Fuck it though, you created
a few more times with different stallions, she'd ultimately failed to conceive following Mr. CB's birth. It is said that CB Queen had poured all of her life into bringing Mr. CB into this world. Funnily enough, due to CB Queen and Tosho Boy's
no others, Miss CB Queen did not do any others outside of that, outside of Mr. CB.
Participation in their maiden race together, many regarded this event as a childhood friend's marriage. In umamusume,
see, that's cute.
There's an event where Mr. CB recalls her parents, explaining the following. My parents were a trainer and their pupil, but they'd eloped and married against everyone's strong opposition. As umamusume does, a subtle nod is given through the simple retelling of Mr. CB's unconventional birth.
I love that shit, dude.
That was quite a dense segment just to cover one portion of Mr. CB's rich history.
But yo,
if you've seen the remaining runtime,
an interesting history though, right? That's so interesting. They're not allowed, like literally, dude, we look at, I mean, we're like, at least I think a lot of us are like at least somewhat aware of CB's record, right? Like win record and everything, being a Triple Crown winner and everything. A strong Uma. And you look at the history, that's crazy. Like it wasn't supposed to happen. And yet,
I'd suggest grabbing some snacks and your favorite beverage to enjoy the rest of this video. Luckily for me, I have a variety of snacks to choose from, thanks to the sponsor of this video.
I used to do these.
Both Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co. were kind enough to send me a little slice of Japan in their unique set of snack boxes. Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co. are both monthly snack box subscriptions where you can get exclusive seasonal Japanese snacks delivered right to your door. For March, the theme for Tokyo Treat is Sakura Spring Snack Fest. And for Sakura Co., the theme would be Sakura in Bloom. Both of these boxes highlighting the iconic cherry blossom season in Japan. Tokyo Treat had so many amazing things to choose from. Some of my favorites being the Sakura flavored
Kit Kats are always banger.
and surprisingly their vegan ramen. I'm always a sucker for trying out new ramen flavors, and the richness of the broth was just the thing I needed on a cold afternoon. If you're curious on what each item is,
you don't
Tokyo
gotta
Treat
zoom into the fucking Sumo Man's cheeks, bro. That's crazy. Yo, I listen, I've done these Tokyo Treat Sakura Co ads as well. Hey, that's a good
When
place
Mr.
to put the
CB was
ad.
born, he was fairly small for a cult. almost as small as a filly would be. Despite his small frame, CB had great posture, was perfectly balanced, and used his entire body to jump and prance about. Among Tosho Boy's offspring, Mr. CB showed the most potential. Instead of inheriting detrimental traits as previous offspring had, Mr. CB seemed to have only inherited good qualities from his sire.
Good.
In his first year, Mr. CB proved to be easy to work with. He was usually calm and very obedient. With this calmness did come a fierce stubbornness if his mood was dampened. Mr. CB, just like his mother, will refuse to obey any commands or listen if he were upset.
Get the mood up.
In 1982, Mr. CB entered the Matsuyama stable. Seeing his exceptional development, the staff of the stable were eager to work with him, holding high expectations. Yasuhisa Matsuyama would be appointed as CB's trainer, and eventually, Matsuyama will reach out to Masato Yoshinaga to jockey Mr. CB in future races to come. Yoshinaga would serve as Mr. CB's primary jockey, riding him in every race.
Becomes a legendary jockey. Was already a legendary jockey.
The first foal of CB Queen was due to the fact that Yoshinaga was her regular jockey throughout her career. He had chosen to ride CB Queen over other highly evaluated horses at the time.
Interesting.
Now, being asked to jockey CB Queen's memorable firstborn, it was an offer that he simply couldn't refuse. Just as
I love shit like that, bro. You'll make me cry.
Would be by Mr. CB as they ran each race, a legacy bond that would prove inseparable. Yoshinaga himself was not a highly acclaimed jockey. If anything, he was evaluated as a second-tier rider at best.
He wasn't incapable, that's what I was just wondering about.
But instead possessed a relatively unique riding style. Yoshinaga would either break away from the pack at the start of the race or linger in the very back, only to launch a furious final stretch near the end of the race. Understandably, these were considered
what
rough
Mr.
tactics,
CB did,
and with it came enormous risks. Although his methods were unorthodox, Yoshinaga still garnered his own set of fans who were mesmerized by his unique racing style. Seeing him surge from last to first place was something truly uncommon to witness.
Dude, that's what happened with that damn, that's what happened with the Kentucky Derby. That 2026 Kentucky Derby, dude. There was like an overhead angle that I saw of the winning horse, Golden Tempo, just fucking last to first. Make sure you don't include this in the video, okay? You can't have the sound or anything.
Imagine what you can do.
I'll link the video down below so that way you guys can go check out the Kentucky Derby from this year. But there's literally a horse, the horse that wins, from the back, so far at the back. I don't know if it's last or damn near close to last. God, that's so sick, dude. I just rewatched it. Literally from the he's the last fucking horse. Golden Tempo, the horse that won the Kentucky Derby, is the last horse running the entire race at the very fucking back, dude. At the very, very back, just to come in from last to first and win it. God, that's so sick. It's so sick when you see something like that. That's awesome. Highly recommend you go check that out.
Among these fans was a poet named Shuji Terayama. He admired Yoshinaga, who continued to race despite losing his wife early on in his life and leaving his children in his hometown. Even with these unfortunate circumstances, Yoshinaga continued to live by his own convictions, steadfastly following his own path paved through grief and hardship. The partnership between Mr. CB and this jockey of solitude would unveil a story truly unique to the world of Japanese horse racing. As Mr. CB's career began, no one could have predicted the future which awaited him. Conditioning would continue into Mr. CB's 2-year-old year. On November 6, 1982, Mr. CB would enter the Tokyo racecourse for his debut. With no major setbacks during training, hopes were high.
So at that, with this note, it says it's recorded as a 3-year-old, but it, by now standards, it would be recorded as a 2-year-old. It was the horse was 2 years old at the time. They must be doing that Korean age type shit. I don't know if it's something that also Japanese did, Chinese, any other East Asian countries did, but I know some of us are pretty aware of like Korean age, which is basically like the day you're born, you're 1 year old. You know what I mean? So basically, your age is off by a year.
For a victory. Being the first offspring of CB Queen alongside Tosho Boy, Mr. CB generated a considerable amount of anticipation from eager onlookers. Mr. CB would be ranked first in the popularity poll to win.
Ooh,
With these
cool.
high expectations came a dramatic start. Mr. CB would have a late start to the race itself, and for a brief moment, would generate a sudden sense of fear for a loss at his debut.
Uh-oh.
Even with this late start, Mr. CB would crush his competition, pulling
By
ahead,
5.
securing
Whoa.
a victory by a staggering
5
5
lengths.
lengths.
Wow. That's nice.
Mr. CB had not only won his debut, but showcased a dominant presence to those who witnessed the race.
Sick.
A month later, on December 4th, 1982, Mr. CB will participate in the Kuromatsu show. Just like his debut, Mr. CB was once more the fan favorite to win. This race also would signify an unexpected weakness that Mr. CB's team hadn't witnessed before.
Dirt?
As the
What?
gates opened, just like in his debut a month prior, Mr. CB would find difficulty exiting the gate. It wasn't a mere misstart, but instead a complete failure to exit the gate properly. This resulted in an undesirable position for Yoshinaga, who urged Mr. CB forward, attempting to position themselves in the middle of the pack. Instead of simply obeying his jockey's command, Mr. CB would begin a monstrous spurt forward. This sudden surge would place Mr. CB at the front of the pack, and even then, his explosive pace did not stop. From a position which was less than ideal for his jockey, to a display of fierce speed to claim first place.
Wow!
Even though Mr. CB had won his second race in a row, his team remained uneasy.
Of
It was
course.
clear that this horse possessed an innate talent.
Yeah, but
Gifted with speed and the
winning
ability
at
to surge
in
forward.
completely different
This
ways.
victory was
Ooh.
bittersweet,
I would
and
be a little.
only in time could these obstacles properly be addressed. On December 25th, 1982, Mr. CB will participate in the final race of his 2-year-old year. The Hiragi show would act as a testing ground for the team to confirm their suspicion of CB's previous
Nakayama
win.
turf.
Just like the Kuromatsu show, Mr. CB would experience yet another late start at the gate, leaving him far behind the rest of his competition. The Nakayama racecourse is infamously known for its short home stretch, and with this severe starting issue, many fans lost hope the instant Mr. CB exited the gate. From that position, over such a short stretch, there's no way he makes it. Impossible.
And
Even
yet,
if the odds are low, a small chance always exists. This would be Mr. CB's third consecutive late start.
Oh, is that late?
Yoshinaga
Okay, hold on. Let's look at that. The way it looks.
This would be Mr. C.
Out the gate. Yeah, look at that. Look at the delay there. Everybody's heads are already out of the gate except for.
CB's third consecutive
It's
late
a
start.
weird, like,
Yoshinaga, a jockey who raced just as unconventionally as the horse he rode now, had already braced himself for such an event to occur. As the two continued to ride, a sudden thought crossed his mind. This is simply the kind of horse he is. This is his innate nature.
This is his way of running. I love that. I love that, dude. That's awesome.
Yoshinaga came to one conclusion.
They
would race
an end
only
closer.
the final stretch. This sudden decision ignited a new desire for the Hiragi show.
That's dope.
To test how powerful Mr. CB's final spurt truly was. A choice birthed from the desperation of their hopeless
the realest straightaway spurt, dude.
position. A desperation.
Yo,
that
throw
Mr.
some
CB
encroaching
would
shadow
answer.
on
As they reached
Mr.
the final
CB.
home stretch, Mr. CB would display a level of acceleration far beyond the common expectations in the racing world at the time. Unlike Mr. CB's debut race, the competitors at the Hiragi show were no longer inexperienced colts. They were formidable adversaries, each having claimed at least one victory in their careers. This roster of talented horses and seasoned jockeys made one thing painfully clear. In this race, there wasn't a single opponent who'd easily yield. Even so, Mr. CB would break through to the front of the pack, engaging in a head-to-head clash with Umeno Shin-O. Crossing the finish line, Mr. CB and Shin-O would finish head-to-head. This would also mark the first loss in Mr. CB's career.
Oh, by a neck.
Losing
Okay.
to Umeno Shin-O by a neck.
Oh.
Despite the loss, Yoshinaga felt a strong feeling that quickly overwhelmed him. Mr. CB had displayed an explosive power unparalleled by any other competitors at the time. He was convinced that even with these late starts,
Interesting.
Mr. CB's acceleration could serve as their ace in the hole for future races to come.
Interesting.
An ordinary jockey would likely
Wow.
think that these late starts
So
should immediately
you just have to pick tracks that aren't going to have a shortened final stretch, right? You have more time in order to
be corrected.
take it.
However, Yoshinaga was anything but ordinary. If he's
Interesting.
going to be late anyway, then we let him settle at the back through the middle stage of the race, conserving as much energy as possible. Then we strike
Interesting.
in the final stretch. This tactic, dubbed as the hold-up tactic, was Yoshinaga's specialty. Seeing Mr. CB's current
I mean,
dilemma,
they literally said like he either gets a considerable lead out the gate or waits until the end to come back from the end. They literally said that that's his style
of late starts, he saw no reason to not apply his strongest tactic to Mr. CB as well. Solidifying this choice, the strategy was born to make Mr. CB a legend. The devastating last to first assault.
Awesome.
With this, Mr. CB would end his 2-year-old year of racing, participating in 3 total races, placing first in 2 and second
in the
1.
third. Nice.
Though Mr. CB's team felt these late starts were a great weakness, Yoshinaga had transformed it into their greatest weapon. Entering his 3-year-old year, Mr. CB's team planned to have him participate in the classic races.
Of course.
Of the 3 races which make up the classics, the Tokyo Yushun was the one that his trainer paid the most attention to.
Of course, that's
In
the
order to give Mr.
the big
CB
one of the
experience
3.
on Tokyo race courses, his team would enter him in the Kyoto Sushin High on February 13th,
Ooh,
1983.
smart. Okay.
The Kyoto Sushin High is widely considered a gateway race to the Yushun, drawing strong competitors, one of which being Umeno Shin-O.
Oh.
Surprisingly, Mr. CB would exit the gate smoothly for this race. Even with this surprising development, Yoshinaga was still fully committed to utilizing Mr. CB's monstrous acceleration. He deliberately eased his position to last place. This time, it wasn't an unfortunate late start that would push Mr. CB to last place, but instead,
A deliberate choice.
an intentional move by Yoshinaga. Almost as if they were perfectly synergized, Mr. CB would answer Yoshinaga's wishes. After the 3rd corner, Mr. CB began rapidly closing the gap to the leading positions. As they approached the final home stretch, Mr. CB engaged in a fierce head-to-head duel with Umeno Shin-O. Unlike his previous race, this time, Mr. CB prevailed, beating Shin-O by a head.
Awesome.
Just as Yoshinaga thought, this style of racing suited Mr. CB perfectly.
Win's a win, dude, even if it's by a head.
Mr. CB would enter the Yayoi show on March 6, 1983. Just
Again,
like the
we're
Kyoto
rapidly
Sushin
approaching
High,
the
Yoshinaga
Satsuki.
once more deliberately placed Mr. CB at the very back of the pack. It is important to note that Mr. CB's natural abilities made him capable of maintaining his position mid-pack. Even so, Yoshinaga would opt to follow the tactics developed from Mr. CB's shortcomings.
Of course.
The results spoke for themselves. Just like his
Staying in the
previous
back,
race,
and
Mr.
then-
CB would accelerate near the final home stretch. Utilizing pure strength, Mr. CB would rapidly pull ahead, securing a victory by 1.5 lengths.
Awesome.
This only acted to strengthen Yoshinaga's resolve. This strategy, he thought, will work regardless of the battlefield. All the training Mr. CB experienced had finally led to the development of
that's
a fierce
awesome.
racing strategy.
Oh my
What
gosh.
was once seen as a crutch swiftly
Dude, to
became his
see an
greatest
end
strength.
closer, really
On
truly
April
an end
17th,
closer.
1983, the time
Close
would
out
come
races
for
that
Mr.
way.
CB to participate
That's
in his
awesome.
first major race of the classic season.
It's the Satsuki show.
Mr. CB, at this time, stood as the overwhelming
favorite. Damn. Okay. Who else do we have in here? I don't know any of these.
favorite to win. It had been 7 years since his sire, Tosho Boy, claimed victory at the Satsuki show undefeated. This very same race would be what led to Tosho Boy's nickname of Pegasus being created.
Damn.
Though not undefeated, Mr. CB had to continue the legacy of his sire, a dream passed from father to son, a story written in their bloodline.
Good posture.
Upon
What's
entering
good
the
posture
gate,
for a horse,
total
you
of
know?
20
That's so interesting.
participants were present to face off against Mr. CB.
20?
With this large roster rose several notable rivals for Mr. CB to overcome. Second favorite Uzumasa Ryu was at the heels of an
I
impressive
feel like I've heard of
performance in the
Katsuragi
racing
Ace.
career, having placed first in 3 consecutive victories before placing second at the
I
Mainichi
feel
High
like.
a month prior to the Satsuki show. Third favorite was Blue Durban, jockeyed by Masato Shibata. Shibata was a well-experienced jockey who'd ridden Bolts in Bali during the TTG era, and would later ride the infamous Climb Kaiser. Fifth favorite
I don't know
was
Climb
Mechido
Kaiser.
Monzane. Though his race record wasn't as decorated as the previous 2, Monzane was a late closer just as Mr. CB was. The Mechido
That's
camp
a
eagerly
end
awaited
closer.
the confrontation between
Oh,
their
I assume
horse
that's what
and
he means.
Mr. CB, and many onlookers also viewed Monzane as CB's natural rival. Monzane
Ooh, a
also
natural
appears in
rival. Let's see how
Umamusume
much
and
of a natural
Katsuragi
rival you
Ace's
are.
training story under the substitute name Shina Freyas. Eighth favorite was Nihon Pillow Winner, ridden by Kunihiko Take. This horse would later become known as the Mile King, with one of his descendants
Oh.
being Yamanin Zephyr.
Don't know.
Finally, one more colt would take to the gate, one who had not yet revealed his true potential. His performances were
Is it
inconsistent,
Katsuragi Ace?
claiming victories and staggering losses in his career. This horse was the
Katsuragi
7th favorite
Ace.
to win, and a horse you're all too familiar with
Yeah.
from Umamusume.
Yeah, I've heard of this one.
This horse's
Katsuragi Ace.
name was Katsuragi Ace. Mr. CB, despite this roster of talented competitors, overshadowed them all. This race
Ah.
would have one final hurdle for his team to overcome. Heavy rain has
Interesting.
Nakayama racecourse
Were
that
they the
day,
ones that were like,
and worry quickly
neck and
rose
neck,
that
or
the
like, you
heavy
know?
conditions would dampen Mr. CB's ability to surge from the back. As the race began, the rain did not stop. Beneath a sky of oppressive gray clouds, the gates flew open. Mr. CB exited the gate smoothly, and soon after, Yoshinaga eased him back as he'd done so many times before. Just as he'd done at the Yayoi show, he confidently stuck to his late surger strategy. Even in the face of the first Triple Crown race, Yoshinaga did not waver. With nerves of steel, he pressed onward.
I will say, it feels a little scarier though, right? To do that in a race with 19 other Umas, 19 other horses are there. You may have to go through at least 15 others to get to the front. That's a lot.
But then, a sudden incident would occur. Many jockeys, due to the heavy conditions of the racecourse, drove their horses sharply towards the inner track entering the first corner. This was in an attempt to grant their horses better footing in these muddy conditions. As the competitors grouped together, one horse veered off course and collided directly with Mr. CB. In the footage shown, it is clear that this jolted Yoshinaga, who instantly sat upright and desperately worked to keep control. Rainy weather and heavy track conditions can
no.
easily spell disaster for any racer in CB's
Oh
position.
no.
Mud kicked up violently from the front of the pack, pelting the remaining horses with debris. If a horse's vision became obstructed, it could be disastrous. Despite the
man.
unpredictable chaos on the course, Mr. CB remained composed, unfazed by the downpour or the heavy conditions.
Oh, good.
As the competitors hit the final homestretch, Mr. CB began his familiar, gradual acceleration from behind,
Come
advancing
on.
slowly to the front of the pack. Leading
It's
the
that
group
straightaway
was
spurt.
Katsuragi Ace, Mr. CB's main target to surpass
Oh.
to take the lead.
Katsuragi Ace was
Mud-soaked,
leading.
Yoshinaga commanded CB to push past Ace's leading position, and though Ace resisted briefly, he was soon overpowered by the overwhelming strength of Mr. CB in the homestretch. Within the final meters of the Satsuki show, Monzane engaged in a fierce battle to the finish in Ace's place. Ultimately, CB
Nah.
would pull ahead, claiming
Yeah.
a victory in the first leg of the Triple Crown series by a half length.
Wow. I
This
wish I could watch
victory
the
meant much
whole
more than
race,
simply
man. I know you
winning.
can't include
For
the whole
Masato
race in your
Yoshinaga,
video, but
it
damn,
was his
dude.
first ever classic win.
I gotta
achieving the
go back
victory
and look
after
at these
34 previous
for
fruitless
Mr.
attempts.
CB,
A
man.
man who was once deemed as a second-rate jockey, one who was mocked for his unorthodox tactics.
Dude, I like that it's also something that proves this jockey is quite capable. I like that.
Had finally been vindicated. The poet, Shuji Terayama, who admired Yoshinaga so greatly, was also present at the Nakayama racecourse that day.
Yo,
Against
dope.
doctors' orders, he slipped out of the hospital while being treated for advanced cirrhosis. Doctors had told him that he had
What?
very little time left to live. His own physical health didn't matter to him at the time, only one thought forming from the harsh reality of his situation. I probably won't live to see Yoshinaga ride in the Japanese Derby. Having witnessed a victory at the Satsuki show, Terayama was filled with overwhelming joy for the jockey he so deeply admired. Even though it wasn't the race he yearned to watch Yoshinaga participate in,
Did he not get to see
he was
it?
still able to witness his first classic victory. It was almost as if Terayama was content with this, and had accepted his fate following the Satsuki show. 5 days later, Terayama fell into a coma, and never awoke to see Mr. CB and Yoshinaga ride again. Ultimately, he would pass away on May 4th, 1983, at the age of 47.
Yo,
Shuji Terayama was a poet who
47?
held significant influence among Japan's intellectuals.
Holy
In addition,
shit.
he was also a racing enthusiast, one who possessed a deep affection for horse racing. Lyrics like Farewell Haiseko, to his reflection on the tragedy of 10 Point's grandmother, Kumawaka, his love for the sport was painfully clear. The dramas naturally woven between horses and humans were stories he was all too familiar with. As word spread that Terayama essentially had risked his life to witness a victory of CB and Yoshinaga, it deeply moved the public. Combined with the fame
I'm
of
about to
being the
cry,
son
bro.
of Pegasus and the first offspring of CB Queen, Mr. CB became the exact symbol Terayama had envisioned him as, a storybook protagonist, capturing the hearts of the nation. With the victory at the Satsuki show, the next race was obvious. On May 29, 1983, Mr. CB would enter the very race Shuji Terayama yearned so deeply to witness, the second leg of the Triple Crown series.
Damn, dude,
And
I
yet
almost
another
cried. I mean,
classic
I
race,
teared
the
up
Tokyo
out of
Yushin.
one eye, dude.
Mr. CB's unique
That's,
riding style would
that
also
shit.
shatter the normal assumptions of the
You know?
Tokyo Yushin. The term derby position refers to being within the top 10 when entering the first corner. If a horse is not in this position, it is widely believed that they cannot win the derby. These concerns were
interesting.
voiced by professionals and commentators.
Ooh,
However,
interesting.
confidence in Mr. CB remained unshaken. The public had already seen his racing style and had become completely enthralled by it. To witness a horse charge from last place
Dude.
all the way to the front was unheard of at this time.
And what a motivational thing that can be, right? That's so motivational. You can be at the very back have the furthest distance that you need to go in order to succeed and still succeed. I mean, that's very motivational.
Even if skeptics and critics believed that a tactic as brash as this brought disadvantages, the public believed, or perhaps wished, that Mr. CB could emerge victorious with this unorthodox running style. They'd seen it happen too many times before, and hoped to see Yoshinaga once more perform something extraordinary. If the public's expectation wasn't enough pressure, there was another possibility should CB emerge victorious in this race. The Tokyo Yushin was the very same race his sire, Tosho Boy, had lost. If CB emerged victorious here, it would be seen as an accomplishment at a race where Tosho Boy had faltered.
Redemption
the members
for
of
your
Mr.
father.
CB's team, well aware of the expectations and roster of competitors, did not take the Tokyo Yushin lightly. Mr. CB's late surger tactics were a direct contrast to the front-running tactics used by most contenders. This made it impossible to control the pace of the race. In addition, based on his previous race history, it was obvious that he would be heavily marked by his competitors.
Oh, of course.
The risk of being blocked or getting boxed in would be higher than ever before.
Mhm.
All of these concerns began to eclipse the hope the team once held for a victory. This
Aw.
worry would turn to clear concern as Mr. CB entered the paddock before his race. While circling the paddock, CB's cheekpiece strap would suddenly snap. Though this could just be seen as a mere coincidence by any onlookers, for those who live by racing intuition, it was an omen of misfortunes to come. Witnessing this, a vague sense of dread fell upon both Yoshinaga and Matsuyama. As Mr. CB stepped onto the course, he was greeted by a thunderous applause. He wasn't just the favorite, but was a favorite
Whoa.
by an overwhelming margin.
Whoa, these are crazy odds. This is the one that was like right next to him at the end of the. So Katsuragi Ace, the one that was leading during the Satsuki, for the most part. Monsines, whatever, was the one that was like close to CB at the end of the race, got second in the Satsuki show. So it makes sense why they would be close. Like, oh, maybe this time you win. It's a longer race, etc. And the odds drop off drastically after that. That's crazy.
The 50th Tokyo Yushin began with a wave of gas from the
50th,
audience.
wow.
Mr. CB had blown the start once more. Though this wasn't anything new, the lingering thought of the derby position caused many to view this as a major blunder, one that could be fatal in achieving victory. In his current position, it was impossible for Mr. CB to enter the top 10 within the first corner. As the race continued, the jockeys surrounding Yoshinaga grew more anxious. For some reason, Mr. CB showed no signs of making a move. If Mr. CB, the most dangerous horse in the field, did not move, then they wouldn't either.
Yep.
If they maintained this position, only the front running group would be able to pull away. This positioning will remain after the third corner, and if Mr. CB remained motionless, the field would fan out in the final corner, completely blocking his path. Of course, this was something Yoshinaga had
He was
factored
aware
into
of.
his plan.
He was prepared
Every
for
action
it.
by every competitor present had played right into the palm of his hands.
Oh,
He
really? This is exactly what he wanted, how he wanted it to go?
waited from the time exiting the gate till the last possible moment to make his move. This tactic would be different from what the audience was used to seeing before. A forceful tactic that Yoshinaga believed only CB could execute. A direct charge through the center of the pack. Up until this point, Yoshinaga always kept CB far away from the pack, having him run in isolation.
Okay.
He would swing wide to avoid contact.
Yeah, I
when
was going to say
surging
swing
from
on the
behind.
outside.
That would not be the case this time. As the leading
This
group
time he said,
entered
fuck
the
it, we're
third
going right up the
corner,
middle.
Yoshinaga drove straight into the heart of the pack, forcing open a narrow path, skimming past other horses close enough to brush them.
Holy shit.
Ordinarily, this type of tactic would be impossible.
I don't know which
But
one's
Mr. CB,
Mr. CB.
persevered.
That
At the
one?
third corner, he was in 18th
Yes.
place, but by the fourth corner, he was in 5th. While pushing through, Mr. CB would collide with Katsuragi Ace. Instead of CB faltering, it would be Ace who would lose momentum. Unable to regain balance, Ace began to drift as Mr. CB continued his confident stride to the finish. Entering the final straight, Mr. CB broke away from all of his competitors completely, securing the lead position uncontested. No one could catch him. Mejiro
Whoa.
Monsume gave a desperate chase, but just like the Satsuki show, he could not close the gap.
Whoa.
As the crowd roared, the race commentator would
Holy
shout,
shit.
Mr. CB has surpassed his sire, Tosho Boy. Another victory, the second jewel of the Triple Crown, and more importantly, the redemption for his sire. Mr. CB's victory would
That's
also
beautiful.
continue on the generational wins of the Chikura farm at the Tokyo Yushin, a 3-generation
Awesome.
lineage of derby victories.
Awesome,
On the
awesome,
other
awesome.
hand, this unconventional
How
tactic of
beautiful.
breaking through the center of the field stirred significant controversy. Watching his charge from the third corner, many onlookers worried that Mr. CB may be disqualified. The contact with Katsuragi Ace near the end of the final corner was, by all sense of definition, a bad collision. Despite these worries, the race was not called for inquiry, and Mr. CB's victory remained unchallenged.
Good.
Though the Yushin victory
Good,
was
good,
secured,
good. I mean, I will say, if you want to give the public what they, right? Like, this is the most popular horse at the time. The public sees this beautiful story. There's the connection to this poet, a very famous poet who passed away, who wanted to see this. Would you take it away? Would you take it away from the public? Take it away from that poet? Take it away from this legacy? Nah, I wouldn't do that.
Yoshinaga was held responsible for interfering with the other horses during his bold charge through the center of the pack. As punishment, he received a riding suspension, and in addition, no mementos from the Tokyo Yushin can be found at Yoshinaga's home. All physical awards of this victory were confiscated by the JRA. 2 months after Mr. CB's victory at the Tokyo Yushin, a new challenger would make their debut. On July 23, 1983, this future rival to CB would win his debut with an overwhelming sense of strength. This horse's jockey was Yukio Okabe, his trainer Yuji Nohira, and his home was a Symboli farm.
Symboli Rudolph,
Looming
yeah.
in the distance, this horse
Whoa.
would soon clash with Mr. CB.
Yo, that's crazy. that literally back-to-back years, CB and then Simply Rudolph, that's how it went? That's crazy.
After Mr. CB's spring season, which was peppered with fierce competition, he was granted a well-deserved rest. Mr. CB's own summer vacation. This peaceful break was short-lived though, and Mr. CB would face a litany of setbacks. During his time off, Mr. CB would step on a nail, and though the injury was minor, Matsuyama brought him back to the stable for observation. When returning with Matsuyama, CB would unfortunately contract a severe lingering summer cold. All the while, CB's rivals continued to train. However, Mr. CB was forced to recover.
Oh no.
The illness forced him to skip the St. Light Keenan, which would be held on October 2nd. Mr. CB would barely recover in time to enter the Kyoto Shimbunhai on October 23rd.
Oh shit.
Even with the sudden registration for this race, many still worried about CB's capabilities after taking such a long time to recover. All of CB's competitors would have had suitable time to train properly for this race, while Mr. CB only had trained sparsely a month prior.
And the Kika
His body
show
weight
is
had also
a 3K.
increased from 12 kilograms since the Tokyo Yushun, far from the ideal weight for this race.
So the weight's
Even
down.
so, Mr. CB once more
or
would be the
up.
favorite to win. The claiming of the first 2 jewels of the Triple Crown was enough to give people hope. CB and Yoshinaga's unconventional way of riding that had eclipsed the rest of his competition. As the race began, Mr. CB remained consistent with his usual strategy of staying at the rear. Running in the front of the pack was Katsuragi Ace, who sat as the second favorite to win. Ace had previously finished 11th in the Satsuki Show and 6th in the Tokyo Yushun.
Okay.
Even with these crushing defeats, he
11th
still
and
showed
6th is
promise,
crazy.
nearly claiming first place in the Chiokyo Sansai Stakes in June, and the Kobe Shimbunhai in October. Even with the absence of a first place finish, Ace's efforts were still well regarded.
Okay.
Ultimately, spectators cared less about the ones leading the pack, and more about when Mr. CB's final surge would begin. When would he make his move to cut to the front? As Yoshinaga continued to ride alongside Mr. CB, he couldn't shake a looming feeling which had set on his shoulders. Just like the Tokyo Yushun, Mr. CB did not move. Even after passing the backstretch,
Interesting.
Mr. CB remained motionless. What the audience once assumed was another daring move, an action to be made at the last possible moment,
Wasn't.
quickly turned to silent. The sound of the announcer's voice cut through. Mr. CB is in trouble. While the mid-pack horses were distracted by CB, the front group had distanced themselves further, opening a decisive gap. Entering the final home stretch, Mr. CB drifted inward unstably, and showed no trace of the explosive acceleration he had become so well recognized for. As CB struggled to make a move, Katsuragi Ace would take the lead, with CB sitting in 4th place. A formidable challenger, previously eclipsed by the favorite, was about to defeat the monarch of their generation. Crossing the finish line, Katsuragi Ace claimed 1st place,
Wow.
with Mr. CB finishing 4th. The gap between Ace and CB was 8 lengths, a complete and utter
8
defeat.
lengths.
What captured the
Wow.
crowd's attention the most was the second burst of speed Ace displayed when pulling away from the leading group.
Yeah, I
This
saw
also
that.
caused the audience to question the possibility of CB's ability to claim the Triple Crown.
Yeah, I don't
Can
know.
he
And
really
it's a
win the
much
Kika
longer
show
race with the
after
Kika
this?
show,
The
too.
last Triple Crown recipient was nearly 20 years earlier, with Shinzan claiming the title in 1964.
It was 20
2
years
decades
in between? Whoa.
Many
That is
formidable
a
horses had risen
massive
to the
gap.
challenge, only to fall short of claiming the Triple Crown. With each failed attempt, doubt quickly spread that another Triple Crown horse might never appear again. Mr. CB had initially given
Holy
many
shit.
the hope of seeing a 3rd recipient crowned.
A 3,000 meter,
But
too. That's
now, that
far,
hope
man.
began
That's
to
a
sour.
long race.
Regardless of
But
what the
I will
public
say,
believed,
hanging in the back, kind of beneficial when you're going a long distance.
Matsuyama devoted himself entirely to
All
preparing
right, so a
CB
blue
for the
hat.
Kika
Pay
show.
attention to green
He
shirt with a
gave
blue
credit
hat.
to
Okay.
CB's performance, even
Blue hat.
recovering from illness, reminding skeptics that his condition at the time was far from perfect. CB still showed a willingness to run, and was still able to finish in the front of the pack. Matsuyama intended to train CB as much as he could to restore his competitive instinct. Seeing this determination, everyone in the CB camp dedicated themselves as well, fully committed to achieving the Triple Crown.
Okay.
Of course, the media, as they always do, stir up the juiciest stories that they can
Of
find.
course.
They'd all report on Mr. CB's poor condition.
Oh, Mr.
And raise
CB.
the question of
It's
his
over for
ability to
Mr.
win the
CB.
final
They'll
leg of
never
the
win
Triple
now.
Crown. Reporters, eager to outdo their rival media outlets, sought to interview the people closest to Mr. CB.
Oh, wow.
These people being trainer Matsuyama and jockey Yoshinaga. The relentless interviews of these two could only be described as extraordinary. The utter bombardment by the media was never ending. I think they should be left alone for a while. They are carrying a tremendous responsibility.
Agreed.
It is stated that even other jockeys and stable personnel sympathize with CB's trainer and jockey. Even with the excessive media coverage, Mr. CB still shot to the top
Still
of the favorites
highest
for the Kika
odds.
show. This utter outpour of support could only be described as the public's outcry for Mr. CB's story itself. Looming
don't blame you.
overhead, just like the Tokyo Yushun, was a prospect of avenging his sire once more. Tosho Boy had been defeated in the 1976 Kika show, finishing third behind his contemporaries in the TTG generation.
Oh, he did
Greengrass
go in the
and
Kika show.
Tenpoint. When competing in
didn't
the
see it.
1977
Listed.
Autumn Tenno show, Tosho Boy would run out of stamina, placing 7th overall. The
Whoa.
Kika show isn't only the final leg of the Triple Crown races, but also is the longest
of them.
3, clocking in at 3,000
3K.
meters. It is said that the fastest horse wins the Sasuke show, the luckiest the Tokyo Yushun, and the strongest the Kika show.
Damn,
This
what a
will be the
cool
final
ass.
test of CB's capabilities.
What a cool way to talk about it, right? The fastest, the luckiest, and the strongest. That's awesome. Yo, did TM Opera O? What was Opera O a Triple Crown winner? No. Oh wow. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so whoa. Yo, how sick is it that literally back-to-back CB and Rudolph, back-to-back years, Triple Crown winners? That's so, and that shit's never happening again. Probably. Literally 41, 64, 83, 84, CB Rudolph, 94 Brian, 2005. It literally, it's normally every decade-ish, right? Kind of. I guess there's not a decade between Deep Impact and right? A 6-year gap there. But literally, it's 10 years after Rudolph is Brian. 11 years after Brian is Impact. Then you got that 6-year gap, and then 9 years later, Contrail. And Contrail was Kitasan, right? Oh, a Deep Impact kid. It was a Deep Impact kid. That's why I thought of Kitasan. My bad. It was a Deep Impact kid. Is Contrail an Uma? Or is Contrail one of those, are they owned by the same as Deep Impact? Oh, is Contrail have any kids at the moment, dude? Notable progeny. There's only been like one notable progeny right now. Alba show. Oh, that's a grade 2. Wait, what is the actual progeny? Oh, Going to Sky from 2023. So not a lot of progeny since, but literally, I mean, the horse was retired in 2021. You know what I mean? So it's not been that long. There's plenty more time to bust a few nuts and make some progeny. What a lineage for that horse, for Contrail too. Oh my God, Deep Impact, Sunday Silence. Wow. All right, I'm sorry.
Could Mr. CB conquer what his sire could not? The team behind Mr.
And
CB
we know that that's how it went down.
In the
So
weeks
blue
following
hat
the Shimbun
with the
High,
green and yellow.
CB's condition
Pay
would
attention.
improve
Lock in
steadily.
on the
He completed
pixels.
rigorous
All 5 of
training
them.
for the Kika show, and it was soon made clear that he was in far better shape than he was during the Tokyo Yushun. Finally,
that's really
on
good.
November 13th, 1983, the day would arrive as the sun rose over the Kyoto racecourse. Just before the Kika show, while in the weighing room, Yoshinaga would be approached by a familiar reporter who asked, "I want to talk to you properly after the race." Yoshinaga replied, "Of course, though I'm not sure you'll be able to get near me after the race today." This sheer confidence
Fire response, dude. I love that. That's beautiful.
wasn't blind arrogance.
That is
but
dope,
proof in the
dude.
bond
Listen,
CB
bro.
and Yoshinaga
We about to
shared.
kill this shit. I don't know if you're
He
even
had
going to
full
be able to
trust
talk
and
to me.
confidence that Mr. CB would be Japan's 3rd Triple Crown winner. Anticipation filled the air that day. Thousands eager to see if Mr. CB would make history. And so the race began.
Out the
Mr.
gate,
CB
at the back.
had a fair start to the race, and soon Katsuragi Ace took the lead, shaping the pace of the race. Ace, who had brilliantly contained CB in the Shimbun High, was second favorite to win once again. Ace's preferred aptitude was considered to be around middle distances,
Of course.
sitting at 2,000 meters. Due to the 1,000-meter difference over his preferred aptitude, his team debated withdrawing him from the Kika show. When deliberating their choice further, they'd come to one realization. I want to race against Mr. CB on the grand stage of the classics.
The strongest
Mr.
horse
CB,
wins it.
who reigned as the champion of
strongest
his
horse.
era, came from a strong bloodline, while Katsuragi Ace was an ordinary colt with an ordinary pedigree, born and raised on a small family-run farm. Ace was an object of admiration, born in the same era, and at the same time, he recognized CB as his rival. Katsuragi Ace's team decided, we will race against Mr. CB, the pinnacle of Japanese-bred thoroughbreds. Mr.
Awesome.
CB remained at the
I
rear,
love that.
waiting for a precise moment to strike. The Kika show isn't only infamous for its demanding distance, but also for its unique hill. The Kyoto racecourse has a uniquely
it's this one.
complex structure.
Ooh.
A gently sloping, long hill was placed along the final leg of the race.
Yeah.
From the third to fourth corner, there was a similarly gentle and gradual descent. While Nakayama and Tokyo racecourses did have similar slopes, they were only artificial steep hills deliberately installed to create changes in the race's rhythm.
Oh, this is a
In
natural
contrast, the hill at Kyoto formed almost naturally, resembling the appearance of European racecourses. The difficulty of this racecourse also bore an old proverb: go up slowly, go down slowly. During the era of TTG, a similar saying would emerge: do not descend the hill from the innermost gate. Your speed will perish.
one.
The battle on this hill will directly determine the outcome of the Kika show. Horses who used their stamina on the uphill climb would burn out rapidly, while horses who accelerated on the downhill would swing widely outside by the final homestretch. How to ultimately overcome these issues lay entirely on the judgment of the jockey.
Yo.
How would Yoshinaga tackle the
Oh
Kika
my
show?
god, that's so
This
interesting.
question burned in people's minds as Mr. CB approached that dreadful climb. What would happen next would defy any warning given on the consequences of rushing up that hill. As soon as Mr. CB reached that wretched climb, he began to advance. This was a long-distance acceleration while climbing the hill, meaning to catch the leading positions from the rear. Mr. CB was rushing in at full speed. Racing officials thought this was a reckless decision by Yoshinaga.
Is that him on the outside over there?
However, in no
Holy
time,
shit.
Mr. CB began to close the gap on the leading group. What no one knew was the fact that this is not what Yoshinaga had intended.
Oh.
This sudden surge was birthed from Mr. CB's own fighting spirit.
Oh.
Shocked by CB's actions, Yoshinaga attempted to restrain him, but swiftly realized it was impossible. Forcibly restraining him now will risk destroying this passionate urge to run. To every rider Yoshinaga and CB flew past, the verdict was unanimous. Game over. No horse can attack that early on this track and live to tell the tale. Cheers from the stands quickly changed to angry shouts. The audience believed that this was a glaring error by Yoshinaga. On the longest course, on the most demanding section, Mr.
That's
CB
him making
clearly
that
would
move up
burn
there,
out,
right?
expelling
Wow.
all his stamina to catch the leads. Of course, as we stated before, the odds may be low, but they're never zero. After descending from the hill, entering the final homestretch, Mr. CB would unleash an even sharper finishing kick.
Oh,
distancing the
shit!
trailing participants. It was as if Mr. CB were running entirely on his own. The angry shouts of the crowd quickly transformed into the deafening roars of applause. For the first time in 19 years, a Triple Crown winner was running right before their eyes. Overwhelmed with emotion, many spectators began to realize they were witnessing history in the making. Hearing stories of
Holy
triumph
shit.
secondhand is one thing, but experiencing it was a completely
Damn, somebody
new
really far
feeling.
back there.
For the first time in nearly 20 years, another Triple Crown title would be claimed. As CB continued to defy all belief, Kiyoshi Sugimoto would shout, "The earth is bouncing for Mr. CB."
Oh,
Welcomed by this
shit.
tremendous applause, Mr. CB crossed the finish line, 3 lengths ahead of second place. The race course was drowned out by thunderous applause of the
Holy
audience.
shit.
For the first
To
time
be
in
there
19
and witness a Triple Crown winner, man. To witness a Triple Crown winner is crazy, dude. It's not, dude, some people don't even live to see it happen twice. I mean, in the more modern era, right? In the last 30 years, a little over 30. In the last 35 years, there's been 4, right? In the last 25 years, there's been 3. In the last 15, there's been 2. In the last 10, there's been 1. Like, it's not common. Yo, who was the one that won the Satsuki show? Did we have that yet? We did, right? April 19th. Yeah, we did. Who was the winner? Oh, yeah. Love Chen. Oh, yeah, dude. Love Chen's the horse that I'm like rooting for, bro. For you to win hopeful stakes and then win this, I'm hoping for you. I really do. I really want to see you do it. I want to see you make it happen. Give us a triple crown. Give us a triple crown. Love Chen is the child of Deep Impact, which is huge, right? When's the Japanese Derby, dude? The Tokyo Yushun 2026 is May 28th. Okay. Like 3 weeks, roughly 3 weeks. Oh, no, it's the 31st. Oh, it's the 31st. Oh, that's, I was looking at the, you have to declare by the 28th. Okay, 31st. Ooh, okay. A little over 3 weeks. Almost 4 whole weeks.
15 years. A
Can
new
Love
Triple
Chen do
Crown winner was realized. Mr. CB had become Japan's 3rd Triple Crown recipient.
That's awesome.
Interestingly, the unique skill of Mr. CB in umamusume is named Approaching Shadow. This
Encroaching.
ability then evolves into Bouncing Earth, which is based on this historic commentary from the Kika show.
Oh, shit.
With the classic year only described as legendary, Mr.
Yeah.
CB would end
I was going to say, it makes so much sense for them to have Encroaching Shadow. So much sense.
3 with 5 total starts, claiming the prestigious Triple Crown title. But for each and every person who's familiar with the history of the sport, you'll know that 1984 would also generate a horse of legend.
Crazy.
In 1984, Japanese racing underwent a historic revolution with the introduction of the graded stakes system. Races were completely reorganized, with the common ranking being placed of G3, G2, and G1 races. The excitement from CB's Triple Crown triumph was still a hot topic in the world of racing. As the hype and discussion surged, a new horse would appear. A horse whose owner was confident could not only claim the Triple Crown, but also capture the Japan Cup. This horse would sweep through the Satsuki show in April and the Tokyo Yushun in May. And unlike CB, this racer would do so undefeated. This presence shook the racing world. Wasn't a Triple Crown winner only supposed to appear once every 20 years?
Yeah.
This was the common shocked comment when witnessing this horse race. Until Mr. CB, many doubted another Triple Crown could ever happen again. Yet not even a year later, the prospect of a back-to-back...
Imagine living during that time and watching back-to-backs, boom, boom, Triple Crowns.
Triple Crown suddenly became real.
It's crazy.
The lingering urge slowly grew to see this horse clash against Mr. CB in future races. A horse who,
and at the
just like
same
CB,
time,
would defy all expectations. The Emperor, Symboli Rudolph. Did you enjoy this video? And are you looking forward to part 2?
Yeah, part 2 is gonna have... Dude, this is through the classic year. We still have more years after. I'm so excited to see a part 2 for sure. This was very interesting. Finding out about the just the lineage part of it was like so intriguing. The fact that it's like wasn't supposed to happen, and then the trainer was the trainer of the sire was like, "Yo, I don't give a fuck. We making it happen," and he got penalized for it. But as a result, a Triple Crown winner. How amazing is that, dude? That was really cool. Loved that. And then seeing the story, right? Seeing the 2-year-old year, seeing the classic year, winning the Satsuki show, the Tokyo Yushun, which could have been taken away because it was like a little controversial. And then finally the Kika show. I mean, that was awesome. I absolutely love this. And with that said, I would love to know what you all thought about this one down in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, don't just leave a comment. Also, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Until next time, make sure you all keep it fresh. Peace.